Hey everyone, Value Add Mike here today to discuss how to increase your property's value through other income. For those who don't know, my name is Value Add Mike Taravella, and me and my partners have built a portfolio of over $65 million in commercial real estate, specifically in multifamily. And today I wanted to discuss how to increase your property's value besides doing rental increases. So the multifamily space is becoming competitive, and you have to come up with creative ideas to increase the value of a property. And especially as a limited partner, you need to know the certain strategies that can help increase the value of the property. Generally, when we're looking at assets to purchase, we're looking for other income to be 8 to 12% of our total income. And it may seem like a lot, but in this video, I want to break down a lot of different strategies that we use when looking at properties. So the first one that we do is, instead of doing security deposits, we do move-in fees. This allows you to increase the value of the property right away, because instead of having a liability on your books with security deposits, you're recognizing that revenue with a move-in fee as soon as the resident moves in. The second thing that we do is we charge pet rent and pet fees for our residents to have their pets in their homes. Pets have been increasing a lot over our portfolios, so we want to make sure we're capturing that. You can either elect to do a large upfront move-in fee, or you can do a monthly recurring revenue, or in between. So every market is specific, so just make sure you look and see what your competition is doing, and as a limited partner, you understand what your market hosts. The next thing that we like to do that is talked a lot about on the podcast circuit is RUBS. This is your utility billbacks. So if you as the landlord or the partner have one hot water heater that goes out to the rest of the residents, you can elect to bill your residents an allocation of the bill or a certain percentage, but it's important that you understand what your jurisdiction is. In certain markets, it's illegal to do RUBS, but also, more importantly, when you're figuring out how much you should charge for RUBS, you really need to make sure that you don't overcharge, because it becomes illegal. So just make sure you understand your jurisdiction and ask your operators what the rules are in your market, because you don't want to go in with that business plan and not be able to execute. Another thing that we've been doing, and I've seen a couple times is cable contracts. We usually do a revenue share, and there's been news on that, because if you do a monopolize the marketplace by having everyone use a particular service provider, you have to have internet speeds that are you have to have multiple providers, and there's just been a recent ruling on that. But we like to do revenue sharing. It doesn't equate to too much, but generally what happens is you get a larger check up front for a per door cost that you get to allocate and that you get to make day one when you close on the property. So we have a vendor that we can introduce you if you have any questions, so please comment and I can reach out as well. But that's been a huge piece, because it's a one-time pop and then smaller quarterly checks as well. But also, another thing that we like to do is there's also other building facility fees. So if you have a nicer apartment complex and you have nice pools, gyms, those have a lot of costs associated to maintain. Think of your cleaning crews, that's one more room that's not generating revenue. But landscaping, cleanings, common areas, pools, etc. So charging a building administration fee, like I said, this is just also, you have to just keep in mind with the market and also what facilities you have as well. And lastly, we call them the bad fees. These are the fees you don't want to have and take pride in having in your ownership, because these are generally a negative consequences, because they're not recurring. They show that your business is not running smoothly. And then, so these fees include late fees, lease termination fees, NSF fees, not sufficient funds. And these are the fees that can really, it may seem like a good thing, but if you keep getting these, and these are a primary driver of revenue, it generally means you're not hitting your customer service goals, you're not providing a good place to live, and your residents are not happy, and that's not what we're in the business of doing. So Please be careful of those fees. We generally like to underwrite $200 per unit because stuff happens and we have to allocate, but it's the nature of the business as well. So when you're looking at your property and when you're looking at an investment opportunity, make sure that you understand as a limited partner, you understand how much other income is indicative of total income, see what the jurisdictions are, and ask your operator, have they compared the other fees compared to other properties? Because if other properties aren't doing it, it may be a good thing to be a mover in the market, but at the same time, there's risks associated with that. You never want to be the first. So make sure you know your market, make sure you understand the jurisdictions, and make sure your operator knows and understands that. So if this video gave any value, please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. And if you have any questions and want to learn more about investing, there's a link in the description to get our investor updates. And until then, we'll see you next time.